Good morning, everyone. In the last class, we had just started with an introduction to strings. Before that, we completed the topic structures, that the user-defined data type mechanism in C. Now we are getting into strings. So strings are basically character arrays are used for storing strings. Character arrays. Since there is no built-in data type to store strings, character arrays are used. And what we do is first we declare a character array, the array name, and the size we will specify. Examples are this. We have already done this. Okay. Now if I want to initialize a string, suppose I know the value of the string that needs to be stored in an array when I am writing the program itself. So how I can initialize is say character array equal to the string we want to store in double quotes. This is how we can provide. Another way, or another little difficult way, is to provide the individual characters. Okay, but both are essentially same. So we might probably go for this rather than adding the individual characters. So in any case, in city 0, city with index value 0, n will be stored. City with index value 1, e will be stored. Here also same. City 0 will have n, city 1 will have, city is the array name, have e, likewise. But here you can notice something special. This is called a null character. /0. We are already familiar with /n, which is a new line character. This is called a null character. This null character is required to identify where our string is ending. Okay. So even though the array of the size of the array is 9, the string may not always be occupying all the 9 locations, 9 elements in the array. It may be of the string may be of 5 characters. In that case, how do we know the end of the string is reached? To mark the end of the string, a special character is used, /0. Okay. So this will be at index 0, 1, 2, then there is a blank space at 3, at 4 this one, 5, 6, 7, 8. At index 8 we will have /0 stored. Index 8 means the last location in the array. If the size of the array is 9, we can have legal index values from 0 to 8 only. We already know. If this is just the size of the array, that means the indexing will start from 0 and maximum indexing possible is 8. At index 8, /0 is stored, and it is stored to indicate the end of the string, so that the characters in the computer memory, it is like a long sequence of bytes. Even after city 8, there will be other bytes. Okay, so to identify the end of the string, this /0 is used. Now what about this one? Here we are not adding a /0. Here the task of adding a /0 at index 8 will be done by the compiler. When we are putting it as a single string constant, adding this /0 will be taken care by the compiler. We don't need to worry about that, but it will be added. When we are initializing character by character, the responsibility of adding that /0 to mark the end of the string is on us as the programmer. Okay. So when we are creating the array, we should.
If we don't add in the /0, like what's the point?
If you don't add /0 here, then when we are processing this, the compiler, when we are trying to use any function, the compiler will not know where the string is ending. So it will continue to read the data in the remaining bytes also. Our memory is a long sequence of bytes, right? So one character is stored in 1 byte memory. So in the memory picture I had shown some time back, right? It is like a infinite long sequence of bytes. So the compiler will think that the string has not ended at k, and it will proceed to read the further characters, further some garbage data will be there, random data will be there. It will proceed to read that data also. So to indicate that our valid string, the legal string which we want to store is ended, we are putting this. If you don't put it, the compiler will automatically insert it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So see, we are going to store this array in the computer memory. Computer memory, it's not just 9 bytes or like that. It is a long sequence of bytes. So if the compiler doesn't know where the string is ending, it will continue to read even beyond that, and till some the garbage value stored is same as /0. Somewhere down the line, it is finding a /0. Till then, it will read. So to avoid that, that means your string, some garbage data also will become part of your legal string. To avoid that, we want this, and here we have to explicitly specify it. If you are specifying this way, initializing this way as a single string constant, that will be taken care by the compiler. Okay. So the picture is this. I can. So when I'm doing this, the memory looks like this. These are all 1 byte, 1 byte, 1 byte. Each byte is having a unique address also. So space is stored here, and at the end it is automatically entered. So when I'm doing this, say the size of the array is 9, but the string I am storing is only 4 byte length. So what will happen is that 4 bytes are stored here at index 0, 1, 2 and 3, and in the at index 4/0 will be there. Even the remaining places also will be remaining places until index 8, the last index of the array /0 will be entered. That is taken care by the compiler. Okay, but what we are bothered about is the first /0. So when we are processing it, as soon as we find the first /0 character, /0 is a non-displayable character. When you try to display it, it will not display anything. It's a non-displayable character, special character, just like /n. /n is for new line. /0 is to mark the end of a string. /0 is used for marking the end of a string. So as soon as we find, if we are applying a loop to access each character, as soon as we find /0, we realize that okay, the string has ended. So this is the valid characters in the string. That is how we are going to. Okay, now this is valid way of initialization. This is valid way of initialization, but this is not valid way of initialization. You are creating the array, and then if you try to do str1 equal to good, this is not valid. Okay, so some people many times they try this one, but this is not valid. You are syntactically, this is correct, this is correct. Declaration and initialization, but after declaration, when you do it, we technically call it as assignment. Assigning a string to a array is not supported by the C syntax. Just you remember this part. So many people I have seen they making mistake in exam papers and all. Declare the array, then separately assign a value to that. This is not. I will tell you like how we can store a string into string constant into a array using some built-in function or library function. Now reading the string from user. Reading the string from user, we use scanf function, and we are aware of this. We declare the array of sufficient size to store the string, and we use scanf with %s and pass the array name. Here we don't pass ampersand because we are passing an array. If it is only the individual variable, if you are passing, we use ampersand and the variable name. Okay, so since it is an array, ampersand is used. Many people are still confused. I had to explain many times. When it is a character array and you are reading it as a string using %s, ampersand is not required. In all other case, individual variables or individual integer variable or character variable, you have to use ampersand. Now when I am doing, my memory will look like this. Suppose I entered New York as the input. Since there is a space, scanf will not read beyond that. So whenever the first space character is encountered, the reading by the scanf function will stop there. So the memory will be like this. Only new will be read from the user, and after that /0 will be automatically inserted by the scanf function. So this will be the memory representation. The remaining characters may be garbage when we are runtime. This is called runtime initialization. During compile time we don't know the value of the string. Because of that we ask the user, and user enters the string. So this is called runtime initialization. I am putting question mark here because that may be some garbage random value. We don't know what it will be normally. Now when we are reading, if you want to read York also, you need to apply one more scanf, or in same scanf 2 percentages, because normally scanf will cease reading when a space character is entered or a new line character is entered. So first, whichever is coming first. So here there is a space character, only new will be read. If you want to read York also, one way is percentages followed by percentages, and you pass two arrays. So this will store new, this will store York. Okay. So we'll see some programs with respect to this. Maybe okay. We'll see the first compile time initialization and how the memory looks like. So it's here we are not taking any data from the user. We just put a breakpoint here so that all of this will be executed and the program will be paused. Now if you see, str1 is here and New York is there, /0. /0, it is here, it is displayed as slash followed by 3 zeros, but it's in fact it is /0, single character in the memory. Okay, when it is displayed it is shown as /000. And for str2 manually I entered /0. So there also /0 is coming. Here I am not entering, compiler inserts that, because of that /0 is coming there. Okay. Now what about reading from the user? We are creating two arrays. And we are asking a user to enter two strings, maybe separated by a space or otherwise, and we are issuing two scanf statements. Okay, so we'll execute this. Maybe we'll put a breakpoint here. So I'm going to enter two strings separated by a space. So first scanf will read only until the first space is encountered. After O there is a space. So first scanf will cease reading after that. So str1 will have the value hello. str1 is having the value hello, and str2 world, the second string world will be, or second word world will be stored into str2. So that's what you are seeing here. Okay, here actually rest of the places /0s are entered. /0 /0 /0. Here 1 0 is represented as 2 zeros here. So basically only one /0 is entered by the compiler. Rest are garbage values, and that garbage value happen to be /0 themselves. Here if you see, one /0 is there. After that /002 it is showing, /000 0. So here some garbage values are there. The first character after the O is guaranteed to be /0. Like that it is. This job is done by the scanf function, and we don't need to worry about that. Automatically a /0 is entered at the end of the string. So this is what is happening. When I enter New York to this address string, new is entered because only after space it will not read. So new is entered and a /0 is. Then rest of them may be anything. You cannot guarantee that to be /0 or anything. It can be some random garbage character. Okay. Now in the input output input output topic, we saw some way of reading. Suppose we want to read only 4 characters. London is the input and we want to read only 4 characters. Instead of %s, you put %4s. So that time out of London only 4 characters will be taken as input and /0 will be inserted there. Generally the scanf syntax is scanf %ws, where w is the number of characters that needs to be exactly read. This is same as integer. This is same for integer also. When we studied this in second unit in the topic input output. So we will not spend time on that here. Now if you want to read string having space also, as of now if there is a string with a space and you are using scanf %s, only until the first space reading will happen. The second word will not be read. If you want to read the second string, you need to call another scanf with another array. Suppose if you want to read the entire string including space, we can use percentage in square bracket caret. This is symbol is called caret. It is there in the keyboard, followed by /n. So this also we studied in input output topic when you prepared for first test. You might have learned this, and we have already covered it. I'll just demonstrate it with one example program. 418. So I am using, instead of percentages, percentage in square bracket, caret symbol followed by /n. So now if I run this, even space is accepted. Okay, I think I am running the wrong program. I did not compile this. So even space is accepted. The entire string hello world is taken into the same single array. Okay, if you I'll just put a breakpoint here and show you how it is there in the memory. So str stores the entire hello world because we use this one, but this may not be supported in all compilers. So when whichever code blocks and the GCC compiler we are using, I am using in my machine, it is supporting. So this indicates until /n character is encountered, keep on reading everything, read everything until /n will, when I am pressing enter, what is going into by from the keyboard is a /n character into the program. So an enter key is corresponding to /n or new line character. That is the implication. Okay. If any doubt is there, you can ask me. Then reading a character from the user we have studied already. Get char. So we already studied it in input output section, get char function. So we will not spend time on that. Then displaying onto the screen. Displaying onto the screen. Printf function is used, and this also we studied. This will be the width and this will be the precision. How many characters are to be displayed? That is 5 here, and 9 is total how much of width is reserved, and by default it will be right aligned manner. So if the string is hello, precision 5 means all the 5 characters from the string will be displayed, and that will be displayed in a right aligned manner. If we use a minus symbol here, it will be displayed in a left aligned manner. So these things also we have seen before. Okay, in second unit, displaying a string percentage w dot ps. General format is w dot p. W is the width need to be reserved on the screen. P is the precision. This also we have seen there, so we will not spend time on that. This also we have seen there in second unit. Then putters function is used for displaying. Putters is a function used for displaying a string. This is a alternative to printf when you want a string to display. So what you are going to pass into the putters function is a character array which stores a string. Putters function. Now there is another function called getters function. So since you know so many functions already, getchar, putchar, printf, scanf, etc., I don't need to spend much time on explaining these functions. There is a function called getters. Here, previously, if there is a string, there is a space within the string, we were using scanf with this syntax. Instead of that, we can use another function called getters to read a string which contains a space character also. So how we are going to use is getters, and we pass the string, the character array. So initially, if we want to read a string in the entire sentence including space and including spaces, we had to use either this way we had to use. Instead of that, there is a function called getters. It stands for get string, and we pass a character array into that. That also will read the entire sentence. Even if there is space, it will read. So I have commented out scanf function, and I have included getters function, and I am passing. Syntax is very simple. Just pass the array into the, and after this function returns, the user entered string will be stored in this. So I'll just execute it step by step. So since this line is commented, it is going here. When I am entering it, here it is waiting. So I will enter hello world. So if I start the watch window, I should, okay, I'll press enter here. Yeah, when I press enter, you can see that the string array str array is stored there, and hello world is stored in that. So this is another way of reading strings containing spaces, blank spaces. This is one way, or this is another way. Okay, once I get that, I can display it using text is hello world, or I can display it using putters function. Putters is the opposite of getters. This will read a string from the user. Putters will uh, display it back. So instead of this, I can use putters. Instead of scanf, this manner I have used getAs function. This is exclusive. This function is exclusively for string reading, and this function is exclusively for string writing or displaying. We already studied getChar exclusively for reading a character, and putChar exclusively for displaying a character. Similar functions for string is getAs and putAs. So if I run this, it is displayed using putAs function. Okay. Then these are all we have seen before. Now we will go to string handling functions. There are certain string operations, or there are many string operations. Some examples are concatenating or combining two strings. There is a library function called strcat, string concatenation function, strcat, and this is used for combining two strings. If you have two strings and you want to combine them into a single string, you can use stringcat function. String compare is a function used for comparing two strings. Comparing two numbers, we have relational operators, less than or equal to, less than, greater than or equal to. Even comparing two characters we can do using relational operators, because characters are implicitly numbers only. Implicitly in computer memory it is stored as numbers only, the ASCII value corresponding to each character. So ASCII value is a number corresponding to each character in the English language, I can say. Each character includes letters, digits, special symbols, etc. So string compare we cannot use relational operators for comparing strings. Only single variables, single data items like integer, character, floating point numbers we can compare using relational operators. To compare strings, we will have to use library functions, built-in functions coming from some header file. So these functions are normally coming from string.h, string.h or stdlib.h header files, and we can use them in our program. I will demonstrate how to use them. This topic is actually SLE, but I am teaching you because of there is a requirement for the next topic we are going to cover. String copy is to create a copy of a string. To create a copy of an integer variable, you can use assignment operator. Say c equal to d. The value stored in d will be copied into c. But to create copy of a string, we need to use strcpy, a function, built-in function. Then to find the length of a string, we use the function strlen. So you need to remember this function. These are from SLE, self-learning exercise topics. So strcat for concatenating strings, strcmp for comparing strings. Comparing strings means it will tell you which string will appear alphabetically first or which will come second when comparing two strings. So when we are comparing two characters A and B, we know that A will come alphabetically first before B, or A will come before any other letters in English alphabet. Similarly, when it comes to strings also, there is a alphabetic order. To decide that, we need to compare two strings. So we use strcmp function. So we are going to see each of these function, how it is functioning. First we will take string concatenation. String concatenation. The function is strcat. The syntax of the function is this one. strcat, and we have to pass the two strings which needs to be combined. So my first string is having value hello, and second string is having value world. When I am doing strcat, a combined string will be formed, which is hello world, and that combined will be stored in str1. The combined string will be stored in str1. It means the first string we are passing into this function will be modified to store the combined string. Okay, so since the combined string is stored in first character array we are passing, our first character array should be large enough to store the combined string also. It need only no it need, should not be only sufficient to store hello, the first string characters. It should be large enough to store the combined string also. Okay, we'll see this program practically. We'll build that. Yeah, here it is. So I have two strings str1 and str2 character arrays stored with hello and character array stored with world. I'm going to combine it using strcat. Call strcat, pass str1 and str2 separated by commas. So if I run that, so I'll put a breakpoint here. You can see that str1 hello, str2 is having world. 5 characters followed by a /0. Somehow /0 is not shown here. The str1 is storing hello and str2 is storing world. Now I am going to call this function. So what should be the output? After I am calling, str1 should be updated with hello world. The combination of these two string values will be stored in str1. So I'm putting F7. You see hello world. So the whatever value there in second string, the value of the second string is copied into the or attached at the end of the first string, I can say. Concatenation. So a combined string is stored in the str1. Now if I display str1, it is going to display the combined string hello world. There is no space here, because of that in the final string also, combined string also, hello world is not coming. Space is not coming. Okay. Now if I put a space here, including a space character, then and if I run that, I'm going to call strcat function, execute strcat. Now a space also has come, because in my first string there is already a space also, space character also. So when the strings are combined, the space is still there. That is how we get hello space world. And if I am displaying it, I'm going to get hello world.
Can it concatenate more than two strings?
No, this function does not support concatenating more than two strings. So if you want to do that, you first combine str1 and str2. The result will be in str1. Then again you call strcat with str1 comma str3 if you have. So this supports combining two. So you can see here one string, second string, destination string and source string. Okay. So you see it doesn't support basically, but when you go to Python and all other advanced programming languages, that will be there. That concatenating multiple strings, much easier ways of doing it. But as a beginning or as a programmer, C is the best language to learn as a first language, so that you get good understanding of what is happening in the system level, or the very fundamental concepts of programming we will get when we are learning C, which you will not get when you are directly learning Python or any other language as a first language. Okay, that is string concatenate function. So you pass two strings. the second string will be attached at the end of the first string. So that means the combined string you will get in the first input to the strcat function. Yeah. The next function is string compare. String compare is a little tricky function. I will come to that at the end. So before that we will go to string copy. String copy is for creating a copy of a string. Okay, that means if you have two character arrays, and one is having a value, and you want to copy it into other, or create a copy of a string, you can use strcpy. And what will happen is the string in second array, this is an array, this is also an array. String stored in second array will be copied into the first array. This is the destination, this is the source. The string in this array will be copied. So previously it was concatenation. At the end of the first string, second string will be attached, appended. But here this will be copied into this. That means if at all there is a value there in this array, it will be overwritten. Okay. So here my str1 is a 15 character size array. str2 is also a 15 character size array, and str2 is initialized with a string. Now when I am calling string copy, this will be copied into this. So str1 also will become hello world. That is the meaning of string copy. Let's see if we have a program here to demonstrate. Concat. Yeah. So I have two strings. Normally what we will do, we will have input from the user. We will take the input from the user, but just to keep the program simple so that we focus on the concept that matters here, basically copying operation. We are not worried about input operation now. We are worried about copying operation. So this is this array will have some garbage value, and this is having a valid string, and we are going to copy the value in str2 to str1. So I'll put a breakpoint here and we'll proceed from there. So this is having garbage value, you can see. So first str1, some garbage value is 26 something. You don't need to worry about that. And f7 I'm doing hello world is initialized into str2. Now I'm going to call a string copy. So str1 also gets hello world. So this is the destination, this is the source. From this source string, the data will be copied into the destination string, and we are going to display the using putS function. We are displaying it. We get the combined string or copied string is hello world. The basic understanding is that your destination string will be large enough to contain the source string. So if source string value is of 15 characters, your destination array should be of that size, including /0. /0 also occupies one element or one location in the array. So it should be large enough to accommodate the source string, the data in source string. Otherwise the result will be unexpected. Okay, we cannot predict what will be the output. It will be erroneous mostly. So that is string copy. Now string length. String length, strlen is the function. You pass the string, you get the length. The return value of the function is an integer which represents the length of the string. When I say length of the string, that does not include that /0 inserted by the compiler. Okay, only the valid characters of the string. So length of the string will be 5 because we have 5 valid characters. So length of the string does not include the /0. that is inserted by the compiler implicitly to mark the end of the string, to identify or indicate the end of the string. Yeah, we have a program here to find the length of the string. That also I'll just execute. We started at, okay, we can go till 10:30, right? Yeah. Okay. So if I, this is how many characters? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 characters are there, excluding /0 secretively entered by the compiler. 11 characters are there. So I should get the output as hello. No, this is, I did not compile it. Length is equal to 11. So string length strlen is going to find the length of a string. Now how it is finding it? It is looking, keep on looking for the /0 character in this array. Okay, and until /0 character is encountered, it will keep on incrementing. If it, so it will take the first character, it is not /0. It will increment a counter. Initially counter will be 0. A count variable will be kept initially as 0. So this is not /0. Count is incremented. This is not /0. Count is incremented to 2. Like that it keep on going until it finds a /0 after D. Secretively a /0 entered by the user compiler. So until then the counter will be incremented, and finally the count value will be 11 when it is encountering all these characters. So implicitly a loop may be used, but the boundary of the string or the end of the string is identified by the /0 character secretively entered by the compiler. Okay, so we, as of now, we don't need to worry. We call this function. There is a return value. It is an integer, so that we store it is in an integer. So it is like LHS variable equal to RHS is a function call. So result of this function call is a number which represents the length of the string we are inputting into that function, and that number will be stored into this. Effectively this will turn out to be len is equal to 12 because 11, len is equal to 11 because strlen is going to return 11 in this case. If it is a different string, it will return a different value according to the number of characters present in that string. Okay, so this is the function ln equal to strlen. It will give the length of the string. Suppose I enter 1 or 2 characters more and I run this, I get 13 length of the string. So what we have seen, string concatenation strcat, string copy strcpy, length of the string strlen. Now the last function we will see is comparing two strings. So when we are comparing, what we are checking is alphabetically which string is coming first. Suppose two names are there, say Amit and Rohan. You obviously know Amit, alphabetically Amit will be, if you are arranging in the alphabetic ascending order, Amit will be coming first, followed by Rohan. In your school list, you might have seen those who are having name starting with A, it will always come in the front. In that only, if the name is starting with AA, that will be mostly roll number 1 will be the person starting having name AA. Like that in the school you must. So that is the alphabetic order. Okay. Now we want to find out that two strings are given alphabetically, which is going to come first, which should come first, which should come second. That is what is decided by string compare function. Okay. Now string compare function gives three possible outputs are there. Three possible outputs. This string compare function, all the three are integers. Okay, this string compare function will return three possible outcomes, three possible integer outcomes. If the return value is 0, that means both the strings are equal. Both the strings are exactly same. That means first string is A, B, C, and second string is also A, B, C. In the such cases, it is going to return 0. Okay. Now, if this is small a, then the result will be different, because capital A and small a are treated differently. So, the result will be different. It will not, these two strings are not equal. That means this string case sensitive. Small a and capital A are treated differently. Okay. Now, if both strings are equal, it is going to return 0. Now, the result will be less than 0. Less than 0 means a negative value. Result will be a negative value if string 1 should appear alphabetically first. String 1 is the first input, string 2 is the second input. If string 1 is to be appeared alphabetically first, then the result will be a negative value, a value less than 0. And if string 2 is should come alphabetically first, the result will be greater than 0. So if both the strings are same, we get 0. Alphabetically this one precedes second one, we get negative value, typically -1 or a negative integer. And alphabetically this should come first, second string should come first, we get a positive value greater than 0, greater than 0 value. Okay. So that is the implication of return value, meaning of the return values of string compare function. We will see all the possible scenarios now. Return value I am storing in a variable, integer variable r, and I am passing two strings, str1 and str2. str1 is this, str2 is small abcd, capital ABCD and small abcd. Alphabetically, capital letters will come before small letters. Okay, that you should remember. Alphabetically, capital letters will come before small letters. Because of that, if I pass str1 and str2 into string compare function, I am going to get a negative value. str1 should be appearing alphabetically first. So, negative value according to this definition. If string 1 precedes string 2 alphabetically, -1 or a negative value. Now, we are passing two strings exactly same. The output will be 0, because both the strings are small abcd. We are going to get this. Now what about this? First string is a small abcd, second string is ab capital cd, and the return value is 1. Return value -1 means first string should appear before the second string alphabetically. Return value 1 means second string should appear, I mean 1 is greater than 0, right? We have three possible scenarios: equal to 0, less than 0, greater than 0. Greater than 0 means string 2 is the one that should come first alphabetically. So I get 1 here. Why? First characters are matching. Then second character, when we are comparing two strings, if the initial characters are matching, it will look at the next character. If next character is also matching, it will compare the corresponding third character, the third characters from both the strings. Likewise, this is comparing A and A. Implicitly, string compare function will compare first character in first string and first character in second string. A and A, they are equal. Then check for A and B, second characters from both the strings. They are also equal. Then check for C and C, capital C. Here this one is small c, this one is capital C. Alphabetically, capital C should be appearing first. So the decision is made. After comparing the third characters from both the input strings, the decision is made. This string, the whole string, should be appearing first before this string, because the third character, first two characters are matching, but the third character, uppercase C, should be coming alphabetically before the lowercase c. So we get a result as 1. In this case, ABCD and ABFD, First two are matching, C and F are compared. Alphabetically C should be coming first. So the entire string, this should be coming first, coming before this. So we get the result as -1. Here ABFD, we are just exchanging it. That means this string should be coming first. So we get the value greater than 0, which is 1, typically 1. This one ABCD, again similar to this case, only thing is that this is string constant. So alphabetically this should be coming first. So we get the value -1, r equal to -1. So functionality of string compare is clear. The alphabetic order of these two strings, the two input strings will be decided using this. Let's see if we have an example. So with this we will stop the topic, stop the class. Just hold on. So I will run this program in a step-by-step manner. The same program which I showed now, ABCD and small ABCD. I will put a breakpoint here and I will open the watch window. So that less than 0 value will normally -1 or a negative value. That's negative value. Okay. And greater than 0 value will be normally +1 or a negative value, positive value other than 0. That is how it happens. So we'll run this in debug mode. So str1 is ABCD, str2 is ABCD. R is random. As of now it is 0 because I have not executed this statement. So when I execute that statement I get -1 because first str1 is capital ABCD. Alphabetically this should be coming first. So if first string precedes second string, -1 is the result, negative value. Now here ABCD, capital ABCD, what will be the output here? Can you tell me? Alphabetically which should come first? Here it is starting with small a, here it is starting with capital A.
Should be +1.
Yeah, alphabetically this should be coming first. So if the second string precedes first string, or second string should come before the first string alphabetically, the result is a value greater than 0. And normally the greater than 0 value returned by the strcmp function will be +1. So r becomes +1. The previous -1 value is now overwritten by the new value returned by this function call. So r gets the new value 1. Now here this is having capital. So first two characters are matching in both the strings. This is capital, this is small. So alphabetically this should be coming first. Because of that we get the value -1. Alphabetically first string should come before the second string. So return value of this function will be -1. Here first character itself is is deciding the alphabetic order of the entire string. A should be coming before small a. Capital A should be coming. So the result is going to be again -1. -1. Here both are equal. So we should be getting 0. Okay. So you remember this behavior of string compare. 3 possible outcomes. If both the strings are exactly same, 0. First string should come before second string alphabetically. Result will be a negative value, less than 0 value, normally -1. If the second string should come before first string alphabetically, result should be +1 or a value greater than 0, typically +1. Okay, with that we will stop the session for today. We will continue in the next class.